What is going on, everybody? Fuo here, back for a brand new episode of Umineko When They Cry. Last time on, we start off with a nice scene between Shannon and Cannon as they're cleaning up the guest house, in which Shannon finally confronts Cannon's feelings about Jessica, in which we have a kind of emotional, breakdown of Cannon as he finally, admits he loves Jessica. He finally admits that to Shannon. And so Shannon and Cannon have this sort of deal in a way of Shannon promising Cannon that if she is able to marry George, that she'll get off of Wokojima forever and forget about, him and the rest of the island. And if Cannon is able to get with Jessica, then he'll be able to live as a human and not as furniture. There's a lot of interesting implications about that, but I'll get back to that in a moment. But moving on, we finally see as Erika finally lands on Wokojima, coughing up seawater and the like, as we finally have the quote-unquote the detective arrive. And of course, as soon as she gets there, she starts making a fuss or makes diatribes about different things, about mystery genres, whatever. And when George tries to, make the conversation a bit more, civil and bring up Maria's puzzle book, it turns into yet another tirade by Erika. But we spend about a good 30 minutes on this cheese puzzle. Right? We spent a good 30 minutes about that, about people trying to figure it out. And eventually, Battlor is able to figure it out, but not the way it was intended to be figured out in the puzzle book. He tried to find a loophole because the first solution he came across was, too easy. And someone put it actually very nicely last episode in the comments about how the cheese puzzle represents the players and Battlor's thinking. We're presented with a puzzle. We're presented with this mystery. And we try to find any type of loophole in it in order to figure it out. Even though the answer is right in front of us, the easiest answer is most likely, the right one. Occam's razor and all that. But both the audience and Battlor try to figure out, how exactly to, what's the solution? It can't be the first one. That's way too easy. Hell, I've had those exact same thoughts throughout this series as well. Of nah, that's way too easy. For example, the biggest one I think is back in episode 1 where, Maria was acting creepy. I always thought oh, that's just a red herring. It's way too easy. Or, episode 5 with the man from 19 years ago. Of no, there's no way that man's real. That's way too easy. That's way too cliched. But maybe we're supposed to take it at face value. Maybe we are supposed to dig into it, It's just it was a very interesting scene of what we, the audience, and Battlor do when we're presented with a puzzle and how we try to figure it out. Then after that, we get yet another scene of somebody trapped within one of the bedrooms, and they tried so desperately to get out. They break one of the windows with their fist, but their pinky gets, gnawed off or, chomped off by something unseen, which is, I still don't know what those are about. I really don't. I can't, genuinely, I would tell you guys any type of thought I would have about those scenes, but I don't. I actually do not know what to make of them yet. Not yet, at least. Maybe it's supposed to be a metaphor for the culprit, locked up in the cage of being the antagonist. Maybe it's supposed to represent Battlor, who's trapped within the manor, is unable to escape this never-ending loop of life and death and be with his family. Maybe it's someone else differently. I don't know. I really don't. It's, those scenes are so very interesting to me. I'm very curious on, where it leads to. Who's trapped in the room and why are they put in there, And I think, yeah, that was pretty much the end. Oh, wait, no. There was one last thing. Beatrice, or Chick Beatrice, I should say. managed to travel back in time, in a way. Yeah, like travel back in time before the portrait was put up. And she meets an elder Beatrice. Now, what this elder Beatrice is the myth of the Witch of Wakajima personified, which I'm pretty sure I'm right in that assumption. That she is the myth of Wakajima. She is the witch before the portrait is put up, before there is a face given to the mysterious witch of Wakajima, Beatrice. And so I'm going to guess that Beatrice and her are going to combine in order to become the Endless Witch, Golden Beatrice, perhaps along while we continue throughout this episode, which should be very interesting to see. A couple of comments from last episode that I want to address. One of them being the connection between feathering and Hanyu, which someone said that it's never exactly stated, like, definitively of what their relationship is. It's really up to the viewer to figure it out. And so, my interpretation so far, at least, from the very little we've seen of feathering, it could be an older version of her. It could be... You know what? I really don't have enough information to make a definitive answer of what I think Feathering's relation to Hanyu is just yet. And then in that comment, they imply that in future media that it is also kind of, I guess, in a way brought up as well, which I'm very curious on, because I want to make my own conclusions about what their relationship truly is. And all of that. And, what was it? They brought up the cheese one. Oh, someone also brought up the, of how Elder Beatrice says I in Japanese. She uses, like, the more elder version of I, like higher standing in, like, society. And she also uses, Satoru, Satoru... God damn it, I just read it, like, a couple minutes ago. Satoru, aka you in English, which is an older version of, like, saying you in Japanese, while Chick Beatrice uses watashi, I, which is a general neutral term. So once again, very interesting, things that obviously I would have never known, because, English is a very, it's not as diverse as Japanese. So it's very cool to see those little details about, obviously Elder Beatrice is, well, more elder than the Chick Beatrice and all that. And one last thing. One last comment that I want to talk about. Someone, started talking about how it's very weird, the relationship, or, like, what Shin says at, during the discussion with Canon about how she would leave Wokenjima and forget about Canon. Even though they obviously have a sister-brother type of relationship, it seems a bit cold for her. And you have a point there. You very much have a point there. And I got a thought. A very weird thought. So Shannon and Canon have always been kind of dualities of each other. Like, they're like two sides of the same coin, like, in feeling. They're both, male, female, obviously. Shannon, Canon, very similar names, all that, and they're both in love with somebody. While Canon is much more reluctant to give in to his feelings. He wants to remain as a piece of furniture, while Shannon wants to be with George, even though the future may not be as happy as she thinks it is. But she still wants to go for it. And during that conversation, last episode, I had this weird thought. It's not as... It's definitely dual. But, like, I could liken it to two personalities talking to each other. And whoever wins gets control of the main body. Now, I have no evidence. I have no fucking evidence of Shannon and Canon being, like, the same person. There's absolutely no fucking evidence for that. But what we've just heard, what we saw, it makes me think of that. It makes me think of two different personalities. One in love with Jessica, one in love with George. And how if one of them accepts, that personality wins, be it Canon or Shannon. The two become one. It's very interesting. I have no evidence to back it up, like none whatsoever. I'm just putting my thoughts out there of what that conversation makes me, think of, like dual personalities trying to like gain control of like the main body. But maybe I'm just going crazy. Maybe I am. Maybe it really is just they're dual in nature. They're just very two sides of the same coin, and all that. And speaking of, I want to talk about something. Something, that you guys may or may not care about, but indulge me for a minute. This will contain, like, full series spoilers for Legacy of Kain. So, if you don't want to get spoiled on that, skip, like, 5 minutes from now. But, I recently just finished Legacy of Kain, Defiance, right? The last game in the Legacy of Kain series. And after that, I started obviously watching video essays. I started, learning more about the world, since Legacy of Kain has a fantastic story and world to it. But then I thought of something. I thought of the parallels between Legacy of Kain and Umineko. Specifically, what I want to focus on is the main duo of both series. Raziel and Kain, Beatos and Badwer, aka protagonist and antagonist. And how their stories kind of parallel each other in a very weird way. So, let me explain. Okay. So, if you know nothing about Legacy of Kain, you may be a little lost. But, let's just say, Kain and Raziel are a kind of father-son relationship. Due to, Raziel growing wings, Kain casts him into an abyss, causing him to, burn forever in a pit until Raziel is resurrected by this elder god, and therefore he's able to be reborn, and all that. During the first Soul Reaver, and during the first 3 episodes of Umineko, the relationship between both duos is that of protagonist and antagonist. In Soul Reaver 1, we view Kain as an antagonist. In episodes 1 through 3, we see Beatos as the antagonist, while Raziel and Badwer must fight against them in order to, win, to escape, really. But then we head into Soul Reaver 2 in episode 4, in which the title of antagonist from Kain and Beatos is shaken a little bit. We find out in Soul Reaver 2 that Kain hasn't done everything for his own selfish reasons. He wants to find a way out of his fate, is pretty much what he wants. He wants to save himself in Nosgoth, where, the world, the Legacy of Kain takes place on. He wants to escape his fate, and there's the famous speech about, the coin. If you flip a coin enough times, eventually it has to, flat, get on its edge instead. Basically, what Kain is referring to is that he wants to escape his fate. He doesn't want to die for the sake of Nosgoth, but he still wants to save Nosgoth. The same is very much similar to Beatos' state, especially what we saw at the end of episode 4. She says that this is a prison for her. This is an eternal torture. This game she and Badwer play over and over and over again. A sort of time loop, similar to Legacy of Kain, of doing the same things over and over again, trapped in this eternal struggle between each other. And how she wants to escape as well. What Kain and Beatos want to show Raziel and Badwer are the truth. The truth of their, existence, or of, their fates, really. They want to show them that. They want them to know the truth so they can do something about it. And so, in Defiance, in episode 4 of Umineko, Badwer and Raziel quote-unquote kill Beatrice and Cain. Raziel whips, Cain's heart from his chest and pushes him into a portal to a different dimension, while in the same exact way, Bador pierces Beatrice's heart with a blue stake at the end of episode 4. It's very interesting. But we get into episode 5, where both Bador and Raziel don't feel fulfilled by killing their quote-unquote antagonists, They feel nothing at that fact. But we get to possibly the most, when I thought of this, I'm like, what the fuck? This is way too goddamn similar, right? So the end of Defiance, the end of episode 5, when Bador is, struck down by Erika and he's pierced through the gut in the church, Beatrice obviously goes up to him and gives him one last push in order to find out the truth. In order to find out her truth, what she has been doing this entire time. The same thing happens at the end of Defiance. Raziel finally accepts his fate of becoming one with the Soul Eater. Entirely different story. If you want to, more about that, check out my Legacy of Kain Let's Play. But anyway, Raziel also accepts his fate, and he is killed, or tricks Cain into killing him as well, in order to see the truth. So, in that moment, when Beatrice and Raziel give the last of their strength to their counterparts, they both become one. The two become one. Beatrice gives Bador the golden truth. Raziel gives Cain the fully powered Soul Weaver. And once they do, once the two become one, the antagonist and the protagonist finally become one entity, Cain and Bador are finally able to see the truth. Cain is able to finally see the Elder God, and Bador is finally able to figure out the truth. And, someone last episode kind of put it in a funny way of, we could consider the, Game Master Bador as Beatrice Bador, which just adds to my theory. Or at least my cinematic parallels between the two series. Of both the protagonist and the antagonist becoming one. Raziel and Cain. Raziel becoming Cain's sword. And Bador, with one last push by Beatrice, is able to see the truth. I just find it so fascinating. It is actually so fucking weird, to me, that I'm able to play these games that are so different from each other. So different. Legacy of Kain is an epic, time-traveling vampire story, while Umineko is a murder mystery, a fantasy, whooping story, visual novel. Yet in their stories, they're able to parallel each other, specifically in the main duo of the antagonist and the protagonist. I just find it so fucking insane. From, a visual novel from an Eastern developer and a 5-game series from a Western developer is able to parallel each other in story. I just find that so goddamn fascinating. I find that so cool of, I am able to connect these seemingly unrelated stories, completely different genres. Or, I guess they're not completely different. They're both fantasy. But anyway, completely different, intent, expectations. They're able to parallel each other in this such a weird way. Of, one of the characters giving their lives to the other so they can find out the truth. So they can get the truth. And specifically a sword. Raziel becomes the Soul Weaver. Beatrice gives the golden truth to Bador, which is in the form of a fucking sword. I just find it so fascinating. I really do. And I guess I just I love these games. If you couldn't tell, I love every single game I play, you know, and I love when I'm able to connect them in this way without me seeming like an insane person. Maybe I mean, fuck, I probably am an insane person, but I don't give a shit. You know, I do not give a shit. All right, I just had to get those thoughts out of my head. So, I hope you guys enjoyed my little tangent I had about Legacy of Kain and Umineko and how they parallel each other in a weird way with their stories and their main duos. I want an art piece, goddammit. I want a fucking art piece now. A fucking Lazael and Kain and Beatrice and Bador. Oh, that'd be such a cool art piece. Someone draw it. Someone draw it. I'll pay you. I'll pay you like $50, huh? Anyway, that's enough about Legacy of Kain. Let's actually get into the game, shall we?
よく物をどこに置いたか忘れたり、鍵をかけたつもりが忘れちゃったりとかして迷惑をかけてたんです。
昔はよく夏日おばさんに怒られてたね。
I just find it so fascinating about how these two seemingly different games are able to parallel each other. I love it. I love video games. I love stories, man.
でもシャノンは途中から克服したんだぜ。その忘れっぽいの。
へえ、克服って？
大したことじゃないですけど、そのこまめにメモを残すようにしたんです。
Oh, I guess one other thing I could state is obviously the relationship between Bador and Beatrice is kind of, you know, a lover's relationship, while the relationship between Lazael and Kain is more of a father-son relationship, which I find very interesting as well. Just another interesting thing I noticed.
大切なものはどこに置いたのかちゃんとメモして、日々繰り返すことはメモにチェックリストを書いてちゃんと点検して。それで
What the hell you want?
あなたはベアトリーチェを見たんですか？見てないんですか？
Also, I could make like parallels between Erika and Morbius and, you know, their relationship with their so-called master, Burn Castle and Elder God. And how, well, Morbius didn't really know his true, like, master's face, but they still both have knowledge of, like, previous timelines and all that, since, you know, Erika's a outside piece and Morbius was the time guardian and all that. But that's a discussion for another time.
直接見たわけじゃないんですけど、やっぱりおかしいことがあって。
She was talking about a certain summer night. Shannon had been doing the nightly rounds. From her perspective, it was a ghost story. But from the witch's perspective, it was just a story of a little summer night's prank. Let's see. Guess we're gonna see that by the eyes of Chick Beatrice.
我が妹よ。そなたは人間の持つ半魔法の毒を理解しておるか？いいえ、何ですか、お姉様。
It is so interesting that, yes, there's been like, I think someone actually like counted all the Beatrices up to this point. It's pretty much like 11 by this point, which is insane. But no. I really like how obviously it's the same voice actress for, you know, Elder Beatrice and Chick Beatrice, but they really do feel like different characters. You know, I feel like that's actually a commendable job of like it's very hard to like create multiple of the same character. You know, leave the audience confused, but I feel like this is doing like a great job at like differentiating them very much.
魔女の時代はもはや遠い過去。万物を支配したとのたまう人間どもは我らの存在を否定する強い毒を持つに至ったのだ。その毒は私たちには有害なのですか？極めて危険だ。浴びれば立ちどころに我らの姿を蒸発させてしまうだろう。しかし不幸中の幸いなことに 我らの存在は未だ極めて希薄だ。そのおかげで毒の影響も甚大ではない。せいぜい一時姿を霞にされてしまうくらいだ。
しかし好んで浴びたいものではないという。
その通り。さすがはわらわ。理解が早い。
The older sister appeared to be haughty at first, but perhaps because she was so happy to have met her double and little sister, she was more than willing to teach her anything she wanted to know. The first thing she taught was that they were witches, a different type of being than humans. Beatos had thought her inability to use magic meant she wasn't a witch, but apparently she was still a witch nonetheless. And she learned that witches like her were bound by various limitations unlike humans. The greatest of those restrictions was the anti-magic toxin possessed by humans.
つまり簡単に言えば人間の視界に入ってはならないということですね。
その通りだ。人間の目は毒を放つものと同じに考えよ。奴らに見られるということは身を焼かれるのと同じことだ。
As if like a vampire.
それには劣るが、聞かれること、気取られることすらも毒を含む。
私たちは人間に近づくだけでも大変なのですね。
Wasn't Father human? Why am I not burned by Father's toxin? Well, I think by this point, which actually harkens back to my discussion earlier, because he was pushed by Beatrice to find the truth, he has become one. He has achieved balance within himself. I think Game Master Bador has balance in his heart. It also his eyes. He's able to see from both a magic perspective and a human perspective. You know what I mean? You know, the two become one and balance is achieved, just like Raziel and Cain.
我らが魔力を蓄え、それを人間も認めたなら、その毒は限りなく軽減される。すなわち、我らの存在を認めさせることが、人間たちから毒を失わせ、再び彼らの前に降臨することもできるというわけだ。
Makes sense.
なるほど。今の私たちは基本的に人間たちのいぬ間のみに存在できるわけですね。
魔力がまだまだ足りぬわらわたちは、人影に怯え、物陰にこそこそと隠れる野良猫にも劣る存在というわけよ。
The main goal of the older sister was to gain a large supply of magical power and be revived as a good witch, strong enough to have no fear of the anti-magic toxin. Gotcha. Okay, that makes a lot of sense now. For that purpose, she had wandered around the mansion night after night, striving to regain her magical power and reduce the anti-magic power of the humans, creating ghost stories, creating bumps at the night, little tiny, weird things that you see out the corner of your eye at night. The powerful previous Beatrice, whom she had read about in Featherine's library, had appeared openly in front of humans and had even toyed with them at will. According to her big sister, such a level of power was most impressive.
人前に堂々と姿を現し、魔法を自由自在とな。わらわとて想像もつかぬ大魔女の境地を。それがわらわたちの未来の姿だというのか。
はい。お屋敷の人間たちの前に堂々と姿を現し、魔法や眷属を次々に召喚できる。まるで絵本の中の魔女のようですらありました。
Once again, knowing their fate, free will, and all that. Another big topic of what you save Karen.
夢のある話だ。それがわらわたちの未来ならば、努力に励む張り合いがあるというもの。
そうですね。
Goddamn Ouroboros, man.
それでお姉様？
how the snake eats its own tail.
そのための努力とこうして窓の鍵を開けて回ることにどんな関係が？
It was the middle of the night. They were following behind servants who were checking the locks on the doors and windows and undoing those locks after the servants thought they had been set. It felt more like a child's prank than the work of a witch.
これこそが大魔女へ至る道なのだ。千里の道も一歩から。その一歩は下せぬ者の目には時にあまりにみすぼらしくも見えよう。
So in order to become a great witch, you need to set pranks. I guess Sadako's the most powerful witch of them all, huh?
しかし、これは偉大なる一歩なのだ。
With pride, as though making the first step for mankind on the surface of the moon, the older sister undid the lock of the window with a click.
わからぬか、我が妹よ。これ式のことがなぜに偉大か。
Once you plant that little seed of, ooh, there's a ghost in the mansion, it spreads. You know, that's how ghost stories work. One single instance of like a weird thing happening, you know, once someone tells of that, the story spreads. I mean, that's just how humans are, and people claim to like, oh, I also saw that. I also saw this weird thing. Because, well, humans crave patterns and all that. And so they start connecting it to different other incidences that have happened within the mansion, and they correlate it to this, you know, ghost, aka this great witch of Wokenjima that haunts the mansion.
いいえ、お姉様。
And which causes the belief in the supernatural to, you know, go up.
よくわかりません。
The older sister closed her eyes widely, smiled, and opened the unlocked window a crack. Cool outside air flowed in, making the curtains flutter.
あえて人間の毒に満ちた言い方をしよう。本来この島に我らはいない。さらに言う。今この廊下には誰もいない。なのにこうして鍵が開き窓が開く。それがどれほどの奇跡であり魔法であり、そして我らが存在する証であるか。そなたにもこの風の涼しさがわかるは
わかります。涼しいです。
風の涼しさ、柔らかさ、そしてそれになびくカーテンが髪をくすぐる感触。そのすべてが我らが確かにここに存在することを教えてくれるのだ。
そして私たちが確かに存在した証をこうして鍵を開けることで示して残せる。
Yep.
だから鍵をわらわは開けるのだ。
Of course, it wasn't just small pranks like opening a window. She could also smash windows with vases or read behind strange fires and mysterious scribbles. In fact, one time she actually did play a large-scale prank in the kitchen, piling up kitchenware in an eerie manner and weaving behind a bizarre scribble which scared the servants considerably. It was a complete success. She really managed to scare the servants and had succeeded in making them acknowledge the existence of magic, weakening the anti-magic toxin. However, she usually chose to make her presence known by unlocking windows. The act of unlocking symbolized her release from the limitations imposed by the human's toxin.
いつかはわらわはわらわとそなたは一つの魔女となり、その時こそ我らは全ての自由を得て自在に羽を伸ばすことができるのだ。
Like a bird trying to escape a cage, trying to escape their non-existence, you know? Isn't that what we all do? Try to leave behind, try to do things that leave an impression behind on this world. I mean, that's what every, you know, great leader in history tries to do. That's what any leader actually does. To leave behind something of an impression on reality, you know, to say that we were here, you know, that we mattered. You know, and why shouldn't she try to do it? She wants to exist. Shouldn't someone be allowed to exist? You know, should they be denied existence? We won't have to be afraid of anyone's gaze anymore. We will be able to fly wherever we wish, disappear whenever we want, laugh however we like, blink however we like, talk with anyone we want to. Humans might ask things of us from time to time. They might fight with us or play with us too. What wonderful things for us frail creatures, who cannot appear before anyone to look forward to.
今はいたずら程度に過ぎん。しかし、これの積み重ねによって、我らは存在する証を少しずつ得ていく。
It's also, you know, we could connect this back to Hanyu in Higurashi. At least with Hanyu, she was able to talk to Rika. You know, she was able to talk to somebody besides, you know, just looking on by themselves. Beatrice doesn't have that luxury, unfortunately. All she has is herself. And in order to, you know, validate her existence, she has to do these things in order to plant that seed of magic. So she can be acknowledged, so she can exist. You know? Wow.
すでに使用人たちはわらわの存在を夜の支配者魔女ベアトリーチェと呼び、その存在をわずかずつだが信じ始めている。
信じれば信じるほど、その人間の半魔法の毒は失われていく。
I see. So this means that Father has no anti-magic toxin, and that because he truly believes in the existence of the witch I am without any doubts. I finally realized that, though I thought him to be cold, Father does possess a kindness that can't be seen.
早く大魔女になってみんなの前に現れたいですね。
So what does this, how is this turned into murder? Is the greatest question, you know? The need to be validated, the need to exist. How does this turn into evil, you know? Like, how is that change? How does that change happen?
やがては誰の前にも堂々と姿を現すことができるだろう。それを重ね、さらに存在を信じさせ、やがては魔法さえ披露し、我らはそなたが話してくれた大魔女として六軒島に君臨するのだ。
And even with this elder Beatrice, we see that she still has this childlike innocence to her. She's just doing little tiny pranks here and there in order to validate her existence, you know? It's very interesting.
魔女側の理屈はなかなかに面白い。
You're just reading my fucking thoughts, Feathering.
退屈せぬ。
Uh-huh.
信憑性ってあるわよね。ここは幽霊が出る有名な心霊スポットって脅されたら、木の葉が一枚落ちたって人間は幽霊が出たと騒ぐわ。
そうだ。すべての現象は本来中立、中性、無味無色だ。それを望む受け取り方をさせるには、その環境づくりが必要となる。
カリスマのある人物がたとえ何かを失敗しても好意的に解釈されるのと一緒よね。なるほど。その意味においてはベアトたちのささやかな努力は間違ったことではないわね。
屋敷の鍵が開いていただけなら戸締まりを忘れたか、はたまた誰かのいたずらかで済む問題。それが夜な夜な屋敷を魔女が徘徊しているという噂が魔女の存在を少しずつ形作っていく。
屋敷でおかしなことが起これば、それは全て魔女の仕業とみなされる環境の成立。
Exactly.
なるほど。そういう論法がまかり通るまでに至ったなら、それはもはや夜の屋敷には魔女がいるのと同然を意味するわ。
After the Beatos finished their mischief of unlocking an opening window, they enjoyed the coolness of the wind and the brightness of the moon, then became gold butterflies and disappeared into darkness. The Beatos sounds like a weird sitcom show. There was no way of knowing whether the window they had opened had actually been opened by them. The servants might have forgotten to lock up, or one of the family might have opened it after the servants had locked it up and forgotten to shut it again. Or maybe someone had pulled a plank. In the same way that none of those possibilities could be denied, it was also impossible to deny the possibility that a witch really had opened the window to enjoy the night breeze. Yeah, that's phenomenon for you.
観測者なき結果は無限の過程を持ちうる。
Yeah. Yeah, that's why people are interested in mysterious phenomenon, UFO stories, murder cases, unsolved mysteries, that type of thing, because there's so many things you can interpret, you know, so many different possibilities. That's why they're mysteries. That's why they're unsolved, is because anything could have happened, but we just don't know, you know.
それをたった一つの可能性でしか捉えられない人間には何も想像することができない。
しかし魔女の可能性を信じられる者には魔女のいたずらを想像することができる。その時、今我らが見たベアトリーチェたちのいたずらの光景は事実としてかけらに刻まれる。
魔法の原点の一つだわ。
Believe.
家庭の虚飾。
With just a little magic, even a mass-produced stuffed animal, yep, can be reborn as a wonderful, unique stuffed animal filled with a mother's love. If you doubt it, it will be burned by the anti-magic toxin. If you believe that magic will become the truth,
魔法のすべてが悪いわけじゃない。マリアお姉ちゃんの言う通りなのよ。いい魔法だってある。
I mean, you can't put an entire concept as evil. You know?
邪悪なる魔法を退ける力も人の子には必要だろう。しかし、愛ある魔法を焼いて汚さぬこともまた人の世の愛なのだ。
ま、許せるのはいい魔法だけよ。それ以外は全て否定して焼き尽くすに限るわ。
人の子らしい答えだ。
話を戻すわ。ここまででわかることはやはり六軒島の夜の支配者と呼ばれた亡霊ベアトリーチェは存在しないということだわ。夜の屋敷で起こる不可解な現象の総称に過ぎない。
Yeah.
すなわちベアトリーチェとは人物名ではなく現象名に過ぎないのよ。
Or a spirit, or a ghost. If anything bizarre happens, it all becomes the work of the Golden Witch. A myth. I think the best word would be myth. That environment in which a witch could exist is what Beatrice is. I mean, hell, the same could be applied for, you know, gods, you know, Zeus, you know. That's how people explain lightning back in, like, ancient times, is that, you know, it's Zeus flowing down lightning bolts atop Mount Olympus. And once that idea is planted, then anything could be the work of Zeus, you know. A bad crop season could be attributed to, you know, the sun god, you know, because we didn't do something right for them. That's how gods were established, how mythologies were created, because of phenomenon.
それが累積して1986年に至る。これこそが真犯人が被っているベールなのよ。
Yeah.
そしてそれを被っているのは紛れもなく人間の誰かだわ。
この魔女たちの過去物語の時点ではそうも断言できよう。しかしその論法だけで 1986年も戦い抜けるとは思えんぞ。
Ooh.
Baka-baka-shi.
It's so weird we're reading a story about people reading a story about people in a story. It's insane.
そんなの誰かが戸締まりを忘れたに決まってるじゃないですか。
And here we have Erika, which is, I guess, the cynical view of there is no magic.
それを言われると
Or more sociopathic.
でも一度や二度のことじゃなかったんです。それはつまりあなたが一度や二度どころじゃないくらいに何度も戸締まりの確認を忘れるドジで間抜けでアンポンタンな使用人ってことじゃないんですか？
How about you shut your mouth, Erika?
シャノンだけじゃないよ。他の使用人の時にもいつも同じ窓が開いていたんだよ。
私も母さんに夜に廊下の窓を開けっぱなしにしたことはないかって聞かれて、そんなのやってないのになんだか怒られたぜ。チェ。
ベアトリーチェもきっとお月見がしたかったんだね。
何度も同じ窓でそういうことがあると薄気味悪いよな。
Same window, huh?
それに厨房の料理道具が積み上がってて不気味な魔法陣だかの落書きがあったってのはもっとやばいだろ。
Maybe it's just a broken window. Nobody just fixed it.
血みたいなもので不気味な魔法陣が書かれていたって話で、
Something like what? Probably like ketchup.
それ以来厨房の見回りも怖がられていて、その厨房の不気味な魔法陣事件、目撃者は誰ですか？私じゃないです。私は多分辞めちゃった使用人の子に教えてもらったはずです。その日は私の勤務日じゃなかったし。
Could have, he could have done it himself and just used an excuse to quit.
つまりはそういうことです。心霊スポットに尾ひれがつくように、あなたたち使用人も夜の屋敷の階段を少し面白がったりはしていませんでしたか？あなたがそうして魔女が存在するかのように語り、それを伝染させているように。
I was going to say this. I just want to point this out. Nothing against anybody who is like this. But it really does feel like Erika is one of those annoying fucking atheists. like really annoying atheists. I'm like, oh, you believe in a god, don't you? You stupid fucking idiot. How about, where's your science, huh? Where's your goddamn sources about that, bitch? That's what Erika really feels like about, like, oh, you love this? What's your source, huh?
つまりベアトリーチェの仕業ということになってる不気味な出来事は全て何かの偶然か事故、あるいは面白がって誰かが捏造した根も葉もない噂話と、そう言いたいわけか。
そういうことです。ベアトリーチェなんて存在するわけがないじゃないですか。ベアトリーチェはいる。バトラさんはよくご理解されているようですね。そういう名の人間、あるいはそう自称して何かを行った特定または不特定多数の人間は存在するでしょうね。しかし私たちが期待して妄想するような
Oh
黄金の
god.
魔女ベアトリーチェなんていう存在は
We're about to see the two extremes collide with Maria and Erika, aren't we?
全くにもってありえません。
Yep.
ベアトリーチェはいる。会ったことある。へえ、その話を詳しく教えてはもらえませんか？あなたはベアトリーチェに会った？そして魔法を見せてもらったとでも言うんですか？
Oh shit. What the...
六軒島に来るたびに会ってるもん。そしていつも楽しい魔法を見せてくれるの。
That is true. Maria has said that she, like, every time she goes to Mokujima since she was, like, what, 2 or something? Like, she remembers the fact she sees Beatrice. Denying the existence of the witch would always have the immediate effect of infuriating Maria. However, Erika, who didn't know this trick to avoiding Maria's fury, plunged into it head on. Honestly, I don't think she's supposed to avoid it. I think she wants to go right into this, straight into this, bullet train. But no matter how Maria tried to sell the idea of Beatrice's existence, she stood no chance of defeating the ruthlessly intelligent Erika in an argument. George and Jessica hurriedly tried to calm Maria down, but there could be no quelling her anger at this point.
グッと魔法を使って見せたんですね。それがどんな魔法か具体的に教えていただけますか？
God.
いつも魔法でお菓子をプレゼントしてくれる。
God, she really is the fucking annoying atheist person. Always saying, like, what's your source, huh?
ベアトは魔法でお菓子を生み出すことができる。ポケットから出しただけじゃないんですか？違うもん。魔法だの。すごいんだよ。空っぽのカップの中からいっぱいのキャンディーが湧き出したんだもん。
へえ、そりゃすげえ魔法だな。
Oh boy.
そうだね。確かにそれは魔法だ。
そうだよ、魔法だよ。本当に空っぽだったもん。ちゃんと中を確認したもん。はあ？中を確認したもんって何の話です？
How is like, I don't know. It's like trying to disprove Santa to a 9-year-old kid. Like, what? What the fuck, Erika? Like, come on. Like,
エリカさんのよせって子供の話じゃねえかよ。
それよりエリカ様、紅茶のおかわりでもいかがで？
oh shit.
ノーサンキューです。
Oh god.
今、大変知的な話をしています。
Yeah, intellectual discussion my ass.
外野は黙っているように。もっと具体的に教えてください、マリアさん。カップの中をちゃんと確認したとはどういう意味ですか？幸いここに今ひっくり返って中身が空っぽになったばっかりの紅茶のカップがありますし、どうぞこれでその時の状況を再現してくださいませんか？さあお願いします。さあ。
After holding the cup of black tea, which had just been overturned and was still dripping upside down over the table, Erika slammed it down hard and swung it over to Maria. Erika's eyes glowed repulsively, like those of a snake about to snap up a frog. Those eyes were ice cold and had a madness in them that made one want to avert their gaze. On the other hand, Maria was growling furiously, her whole body shaking uncontrollably in the greatest expression of anger that a human can manage. That look on her face was frightening, not at all what you expect from a 9-year-old girl.
お二人ともおやめください。ベアトリーチェはね、こうやって空っぽのカップをね、テーブルの上に逆さに伏せておいたの。はい、それでそのまま開いたら網玉が溢れ出してきたわけですか。それはすごい。それなら魔法ですよね。
Battler and the others tried to get between the two and calm them down, but it was no use. They violently pushed aside the others and glared at each other from so close that their foreheads banged together. They repeatedly slammed the upside-down cup on the table. The sound of their foreheads banging together and the cup being slapped down shattered the barrier between reality and illusion. Oh, shit! Oh, fuck. Oh, here we go.
魔法だよ、魔法なんだよ。ベアトは は魔法でキャンディーを生み出したんだよ。
なら再構築してもらいましょうか。マリアージュ・ソルシエル創立者にして原初の魔女のマリア
Oh
エリ
boy.
カ卿、取るに足らぬ相手です。戦うまでもありません。
You know, Downor has a point here.
お黙りなさい、殺人球体観察人形。
Alright.
さあ、この伏せたカップの中がどう飴玉で満たされたって言うんです？
カップをひっくり返したってキャンディーは出てこないよ。だって魔法を使わなきゃ出てこないもん。ベアトは魔女なんだもん。魔法を使うんだもん。
はいはい、魔法ですね。魔法を使ったんですね。どうやって魔法を？魔法のステッキを振るってカップを叩いたら飴玉が溢れ出した。違いますよね、違いますよね。
ベアトは魔女だから魔法を使うの。魔法は呪文を唱えて奇跡を起こすの。キャンディーを生み出す魔法も呪文を唱えなきゃ使えない。
Incarnation.
はいはい、了解。グッドです、グッド、グッド。
Good though.
呪文をどうぞ、魔法をどうぞ。さあさあ、どんな呪文を魔女はどんな風に？
さあさあ、思い浮かべてごらんなさい。カップの中にキャンディーがいっぱい。そんな素敵なところを思い浮かべてごらんなさい。
へえ、それで
ほら、カップの中にはキャンディーがいっぱい。
Maria grasps the overturned cup so tightly that it nearly cracked, and slowly lifted it up. Then, from the inside, several cute candies poured out. Maria looked at Erika with a full smile as if to say, "That showed you."
グッド。これがベアトリーチェの魔法だと言うんですね。ドラドール。
Oh god! Oh, that's the fucking face! There's that fucking face that I've been seeing! What? I've seen the original sprite of Erika, and I've seen this exact fucking expression. What the fuck is that expression?
ちやね。
Holy fuck!
ベアトの魔法は誰にも否定させない。だって魔法は魔法だもん。
魔法なんてありえません。あなたがありもしない嘘話をしている可能性があります。
復唱を要求です。これに応じぬ場合、ノックス第7条の違反です。応じるよ。これは真実だよ。これは本当の話。
Ooh.
テーブルやカップに細工があって実は手品だったなんて、そんなオチはありませんものね。それは違反ですもんね。
Yeah, no hidden passages.
秘密の仕掛けと細工はノックス第3条の違反です。ただしその伏線が示された時のみノックス第8条により許されます。
Yeah, it's true, but unfortunately it's an event that we haven't seen before, therefore there can't be any foreshadowing. Nox's Bird prohibits hidden doors and devices that have no clues pointing towards them. However, by presenting foreshadowing clues that point towards the existence of said devices, Nox's aid allows them to be used.
そんな細工は何もない。ただのテーブルとカップだよ。だから手品じゃない魔法だよ。
Oh shit.
了解です。ノックス第9条によりマリア教の魔法目撃は認められます。
Well, yes, because the observer.
そうですよね。第9条ならね、観測者はいついかなる時でも視点を語ることが許される。でなかったら
女装した犯人の目撃を女を見たと表記したミステリーは全て失格ってことになりますから。
Yeah.
いいんですよ、あなたが魔法を見たと主張しても。全ての真実は主張に過ぎない。だから私はあなたとは異なる真実を主張し、それをカンパします。
More than
それが
coins.
探偵の役目、醍醐味ですから。
カンパなんてできないよ。だってこれは魔法だもん。
その魔法は魔法ですから、魔女にしか使えないわけですよね。
そうだよ、魔女にしか使えないもん。
では人間の私にも使えてしまったら魔法ではないということになりますね。
お前なんかに使えないよ。ベアトにしか魔法は使えないもん。
God.
私がやってみせようじゃありませんか。この空のカップの中に
Oh
飴玉を生み
no.
出してお見せします。
やれるならやってみてよ。無理無理、無駄無駄。人間にできるわけがない。
なら期待ご期待、こうご期待。
I'm sorry, but I'm just. This is so pathetic, Erika. You're arguing with a 9-year-old. Oh God. God, Erika is such a bitch, and she's so pathetic as well, you know?
さあ、ここに空っぽのカップがありますよ。よろしいですか。よろしいですね。それをこうしてテーブルに伏せます。
Oh boy.
無用の戦いと思われる。
Yep.
さあ、飴玉を生み出す呪文を唱えますよ。
She's just doing this to just break, you know, Maria's faith, really. I mean, yeah. I mean, she did the exact same thing. Well, her and Burn Castle, I guess, with, well, Erika's a double of Burn Castle. Whatever. Just like Burn Castle, you know, reveal the truth of Natsui being all by herself in the, you know, garden. It's the exact same thing with Erika. She just loves to break the faith of people, you know, break their faith of, you know, what they saw. And once you break the faith of somebody, you know, reveal to them a truth, then that breaks a person.
なんなら一緒に唱えますか。さあさあ、思い浮かべてごらんなさい。
Oh, God.
カップの中にキャンディーがいっぱい。そんな素敵なところを思い浮かべてごらんなさい。
ストップ。マリアさん、
Oh, boy.
どうしてあなたは呪文を唱えるときに目を閉じるのですか。魔法の奇跡をどうして目撃しないんです。
人間は半魔法の毒まみれだからだよ。卑しい人間が見てたら魔法の奇跡がかき消されちゃう。だから卑しい人間が魔法を使う時には目を閉じなきゃいけない決まりなの。
なるほどなるほど。人間の魔法に対するお作法、了解しました。つまりあなたは魔法の瞬間を目撃したことは一度たりともない、そういうことですね。さあ、出来上がりです。どうぞカップを開けてみてください。私がキャンディーを生み出す魔法を使いましたから。
Don't do
魔女をバ
this.
カにするお前なんかにキャンディーの魔法が使えるわけない。
Erika, please don't do this.
ではもしもうまくいってましたらお慰み。
After glaring at Erika with the utmost of malice, Maria slowly stretched her hand out towards the overturned cup. There was no way that Erika, someone who made fun of witches like this, could ever use magic. There's no way that there'd be candy there.
カップの中はどうです。
A single candy with a cute wrapper.
ねこれが魔法ね。
Erika smiled gently. A look of disbelieving shock rose to Maria's eyes, along with envy for this person who could use the same magic as Beato.
エリカも魔法が使えるの？ね、魔法でしょ？これがってことはつまり
Oh god. Erika smiled pleasantly. She and Maria had finally reached a deep understanding. God damn it! God damn it! You fucking bitch! Ugh.
これがまず探偵としての青き真実です。そして重ねて真実の魔女としてくれてやります。あんたの言う飴玉の魔法はただの手品。ベアトリーチェとかいうエセ魔女が魔法と称して見せた単なる手品。つうかあんたこの程度の手品で騙されるわけで、あんたの主観が語る魔法なんてね、全く信用できやしない。あんたが魔法だと思い込んでるものは全てあなたが種に気づかないだけの手品にすぎません。魔法なんてあるわけない。存在するわけない。
God. Oh, someone protected her? Sakatoru!
カップにキャンディーを入れたのはエリカの手品かもしれないけど、だからといってベアトの魔法も手品だったことの証明にはならないよ。うりゃーならば同時に魔法以外では不可能だったことの証明にもなりませんね。この腐れぬいぐるみが。
God damn.
金慶慎んで申し上げ奉る。
無用の勝負、これまでと知りたまえ。
Yeah.
この紙切れどもがいいところで邪魔を。
Erika, you're feuding with a fucking 9-year-old? What fucking argument? What?
これで十分です。
Jesus.
カップの中にキャンディーを表す魔法については、マリア教に手品であっても魔法だと誤解する可能性があることが示されました。よって魔法であるとの主張は却下されます。でもマリアの時は本当に魔法だったかもしれないよ。手品が存在することが魔法を否定することにはならない。エリカ教、お見事です。見事マリア教の魔女幻想を打ち破りました。
Bet she said that with the most amount of sarcasm of all. An illusion of the witch occurs when someone tries to force the acknowledgement of magic by claiming that a thing would be impossible without it. That's how witches launch an attack. If someone's able to successfully argue back and show that it would be possible without magic, the illusion of the witch is defeated, and the witch must retreat. The magic Maria claimed to have seen could have been a trick, so it was unqualified to be acknowledged as magic. However, that was only the result of this battle. It was still too early to bring the fight into the domain of denying Beatrice the witch and the magic that Maria believed in. However, battles always end instantly when your opponent surrenders. Erika wanted to hit Maria with everything at once, defiling the witch and magic she believed in, and crushing it without a fragment of compassion.
あと一歩で 波が引いた後のまっさらな砂浜みたいな無垢なハートをズタズタに引き裂いてやれたのに残念です。今日が冷めました。これで満足？
What, she kick down to his arm, or leg arm? Erika grumpily punched down his arm that had been restraining her. However, that cold, hard, marble-like arm just made Erika's hand hurt. Good.
外交官特権。この勝負はもうおしまい。
近景外交官特権了承する者なり。
意図大人げない戦いと知りたまう者なり。
何か言いました？
何も。引き上げましょう。マリア教など所詮はエリカ教の敵ではありません。この程度の雑魚見逃したとて問題はありますまい。
そうですね。子供の夢を引き裂くなんて私も随分と大人げないことしちゃったものです。
Oh, now you see it. Okay.
本当にごめんなさい。
Yeah.
私にしてはエレガントじゃなかったことをお詫びします。行きましょう。
Erika and the others turned their backs, and Maria was still crouching down at one point. However, as detectives and famous mysteries have always done in the past, Erika clapped her hands, stopped, and turned around.
そうそう。
One more thing, huh?
いかがです？ただカップが伏せてあるだけでフルドエリカはこの程度の推理が可能です。いかがです皆様方。
What, you want us to fucking crap? Erika's merciless words gouged themselves into Maria's heart once more. Erika left, weaving an evil laugh behind her. After bowing to Maria and Sakatoru, Daonori left too. Gertrude and Cornella followed suit. After that, only Maria and Sakatoru were left in the lonely golden land. Surrounded by an ice-cold drizzle that started falling at some point, Maria cried quietly. Trying to at least protect her from the rain, Sakatoru used his ward sleeves to cover Maria's head and stayed there by her side. God damn it, Erika. It's like, it isn't just the fact of, like, Maria believes in that, believes in Beatrice. It's because we know her backstory. We know she's been through stuff. She's been through, you wouldn't call it hell, but, like, mental, anguish because of Rosa, really. And it's just, it's like kicking somebody when they're down. Of like, Erika can't even let Maria have this one thing, this one thing of her believing in Beatrice. You know, this good witch to her. You know, that's the thing about everyone else's perspective on Beatrice. The only one who has a good who sees Beatrice as a good witch is Maria. You know, I can't think of anyone else. Maybe by this point, probably Beatos as well. But Maria has always viewed Beatrice as a good witch who gives candy to her, and is able to grab the rose that she tries to find in the rose garden, because Maria needs something to believe in, because, well, Rosa's not the greatest mother, she's very bipolar in that sense, and Maria needs, stability. She needs someone, and that's why she uses Beatrice as a sort of mother figure, a sort of, mentor as well, so she can have at least somebody in her life, that, hell, she did the same thing with Sakatoru before Rosa ripped him up. She did the exact same thing. She used Sakatoru as someone to be with her when she went to the, store and such. She just needs somebody to be with her, and it's... God damn it. God damn it. That almost brought me to tears. My heart's palpitating right now. Fuck, man. Once again, it's Ryokushio 7's, knowledge of being a social worker coming in once more. And it's just... God.
エリカさん、僕は今のやりとりはあまり大人として尊敬できないね。
どうもすみません。私もまだ子供なもので。
Oh yeah, how fucking old are you, huh? God. After seeing that wonderfully candied magic brutally insulted by Erika, Barry had been crying non-stop.
食後のクイズ大会の時から感じてたが、お前性格悪すぎだぜ。
いや、
楽しいか？小さい子の夢、ずったずたに引き裂いて楽しいかよ。
バトラ様もおやめください。どうか私に免じて、この場はこれ以上はお控えください。お願いいたします。
Shannon had been looking flustered, bowed her head deeply, and implored Beatos to stop. George, who didn't want Shannon pressured, fell in line.
行こう。また今年も僕たちはいとこ部屋で過ごそうよ。テレビを見たり、トランプをしたりして遊ぼう。
エリッカさんの部屋用意があるそうだから。シャノン、案内してあげて。
まだ結構です。私はもう少しここでのんびりすることにします。
God, you just have no fucking empathy, do you? You just got fucking nothing, huh?
余韻を楽しみたいので。
Oh, savor. Savor. You fucking bitch. You fucking bitch.
何の余韻だよ。
Beatos and the others could no longer hide their irritation. They had no obligation to entertain their invited guests any further than this. Erika herself understood perfectly well that no place would welcome a detective. Beatos and the others wanted to leave, and Erika wanted to stay. Neither had any desire to stop the other. Jessica urged Maria, who was still crying, to come along. Then Maria stopped and spun around. Oh boy.
何か
たまにいるんだよ。魔法を信じない毒素の塊みたいな人間が。私のクラスにもお前みたいな男子がいくらでもいるよ。魔女も魔法も奇跡も幸せも何も信じない。そんな
程度の奴らの毒素に焼かれて灰になっちゃうようじゃ魔女になんかはなれないね。マリアはこう見えてもベアトリーチェの弟子、
Disciple.
原初の魔女見習いなんだから。
Maria, who had been crying quietly a second ago, seemed to have been transformed into a tiny, different person. She laughed. No, cackled eerily. Battlers' group stiffened up at this sudden change. But Erika was watching calmly. Then she smiled and gave a small nod in response.
相性は悪くないです。おやすみなさい、ミスマリア。次はもっと手応えのあるゲームで戦いましょう。
そうだね、そうしようね。約束。
マリアもよせって。
Well, if you try to shake somebody's faith, it goes one or two ways. Either it breaks, or they deepen their faith even more.
行こう行こ
う。シャノンちゃんもどう？よかったら一緒にトランプ。
ほんの一戦でもいいから付き合ってくれよ。厄払いになるぜ。
え？じゃあちょっとだけ。
Jenny couldn't remain in this suffocating lounge any longer either. In part apologetic and in part trying to escape, she followed after Battlers' group. After that, Erika was the only one left in the lounge. Still wearing a thin smile, she tapped the glass with her finger. There was a white clink, a surprisingly boring sound. Even so, Erika wore a thin smile, as though pleased. Knocking on glass, aren't you? Quite literally.
お待たせしました。お風呂に入っておりまして。おや、皆様方は？
You don't want to know.
入れ替わりですね。ついさっき2階へ上がりました。あなたを呼んだのは私です。
Oh boy.
何でも悪事島の話や森の魔女の話などにも詳しいとか。
ええ、まあ。たわいもない話ですが。
たわいなくて大いに結構です。湯上がりに一杯いかがで？私もたまにはサービスくらいしますので。
Uh-huh. Erika stood up, opened the refrigerator behind the counter, put ice into the ice pail. Wow. What a, I feel like that was an important chapter, you know? Showed how much of a bitch Erika truly is. Huh.
エリカちゃん。
And like how she truly is, and how Maria's faith has only just deepened, you know, I feel like. And I guess that kind of adds to my theory of, you know, Maria being the ultimate culprit. She kind of has a similar to WAF to, you know, Beatrice's, you know. The only other WAF that is similar to Beatrice is in the slightest in any of these characters at all. And she called herself the disciple. Now here's the thing about Maria. She either could be the culprit or she's an accomplice. You know? It's either one of the two. Maria's somehow involved with the murders. Somehow. Is she the main culprit, or is she just merely an accomplice to the true culprit? I mean, if so, who's the true culprit? Unfortunately, the reason why I always bring up Maria as the main culprit is because I can't really figure out who somebody else could, you know, someone else that could use Maria as a, you know, accomplice, or, you know, who is the true culprit, because I can't think of anyone else besides Maria being the main culprit, you know. So it's you know, it's very interesting, you know. Faith.
ずいぶん変わった子だね。最近の若い子とはどうも相性が良くねえよ。
ジョージさんだってお若いですよ。
Hey, I'm 21, man.
いとこで最年長ということもあってついついいつも自分がもう若くないって気持ちになっちゃって。
George and Shannon could be seen standing in the rainy rose garden. Though the rain was still pouring down, there was hardly any wind at all. The scant protection provided by the arbor was more than enough to house this secret meeting between lovers. Following that fight with Erika, they had decided to play some cards for a change of pace. When that was over, Shannon returned to the servants' room. And shortly after that, George had left his room to meet with Shannon at the time they had arranged.
エリカさんくらいのお年の方が一番自分自身との付き合い方が難しいと思います。
What, a preteen?
そうだね。子供という殻を打ち破りたくてあたり構わずくちばしを打ちつけるお年頃だね。それを打ち破れてようやく大きく羽ばたくことができる。僕もそうだったよ。かつてまだ殻の中にいた時の自分は情けなくひ弱な、まるで尊敬できない男だった。
そんなことはありません。
いや、いいんだ。自分でも分かってる。かつての僕はいとこの中で最年長ではあってもいつもぼんやりしているうだつの上がらない男だったよ。それは何もいとこの中だけの話じゃない。家でも学校でも全てでそうだったさ。
I hated being like that. I wanted to break that shell and become a splendid adult like mother and father.
でもジョージ様はそれを打ち破られました。この数年のジョージ様は毎年出会うたびに見違えるようでした。
ありがとう。
何かきっかけがあったんですか？
殻を破る？
はい、あれほどのまるでさなぎを経て蝶になるかのように目まぐるしく成長されたジョージ様がただ漫然と日々を過ごしていてそれを迎えられたとは思いません。それだけの大きな決意をされる何かきっかけがあったに違いないと思いまして。
That's a good question.
君に惚れて愛の力で成長したと僕は今まで言ってきたんだけど。
Part of it, but...
本当はもっとネガティブな感情からだったんだ。
そんないつも明るく朗らかでおられるジョージさんにネガティブな感情なんてちょっと信じられないです。
僕はね、両親に女性は大切にしろと教えられてきたんだ。そしてそれを実践してきたつもりだったよ。
はい、とても紳士的で素晴らしいと思います。
Okay.
本当は違う。異性とどう接していけばいいかわからなくて、過度に神格化して恐れて紳士的なレディーファーストを装いながら、僕は女の子との交流に多分恐怖さえ覚えていた。
You know what? It's not a very uncommon emotion to feel as a guy. Of course, George had wanted to be around girls as much as any healthy boy might. However, he didn't know how to interact with them. He wanted to act like a gentleman to avoid being disrespected by them, treating them with care. Though those feelings, only the words "treat women with care" took precedence, blossoming into a subconscious fear of women.
そんな男を紳士的な奥手な男と呼ぶんだろうね。とんでもない、ただの臆病者さ。そのくせ自分はこんなにも紳士的なのにどうして彼女ができないのかと一方的に思い込んだ。
Now, you don't want to fall into that mindset.
最後には世間の女性は全て男を見る目がないなんて勝手に決めつけ、勝 に蔑み始めた。
That's the old incel mindset, right?
これが本当の情けない男ってのさ。
How many years ago was it when I noticed? Probably when I was in middle school. And at that time, I assumed that I was absolutely the most gentle among way of the cousins, so it would obviously be popular with women. However, reality was very different. At school, it was pretty much completely hopeless. Far from being a weirder, I was a typical bullied kid who'd get pushed around by everyone. At the time, I figured I was just a capable and adaptive man who could keep in perfect tune with his surroundings. How stupid. Sure, I might have gained some measure of trust from girls. However, not only was there no one who would become my girlfriend, there wasn't even any girls I could call friends.
そりゃそうさ。レディーファーストと称していつも後ろへ下がる男だよ。そんな後ろ向きな牽引力のない男の背中についていこうなんて誰が思うものか。滑稽だね。それに気づかず自分はさぞや魅力的な男子に違いないなんて思ってる。
Yeah, eventually that turns into, well, if I'm not the problem, it has to be everyone else around me.
その気持ちちょっぴりわかります。自分が異性に魅力的に見てもらいたくて努力した振る舞いが必ず思った通りの結果を導くとは限りませんから。
シャノンにもそういう経験が？
もちろんです。私だって男の子の気を引きたくてできもしないお化粧をして恥をかいたり恥ずかしい失敗の思い出がたくさんあります。
そんなうぬぼれた僕の目を覚ましてくれたのがシャノン。いや、君たちだった。
Both of you.
どんなきっかけがジョージさんに訪れたんですか？
嫉妬かな。
Envy. Wait, no, wait. What do you mean? The person that made me finally get over my conceit and open my eyes was you, Shannon. No, it was both of you. Both of you. Is he... Wait. Both of you. Let's keep going.
うぬぼれた僕の目を覚ましてくれたのがシャノン。
意外です。
Envy, huh?
でも何に？
君とバトラ君がとても楽しそうに話しているのを見て。
Oh my god. No way I fucking predicted this shit. Dude, at the beginning of the episodes, when I was, went over my Maria theory once more, I brought up the fact of, like, maybe it's George because, there was just one line about, Bador and, Shannon and Bador having, like, a little crush on each other. Oh my god.
僕は嫉妬した。
私がバトラ様と？
Shannon raced through her memories, trying to find a conversation that might have made George envious.
君たちにとっては他愛ない会話だったに違いないよ。でも僕はそれに嫉妬を感じてしまった。ここからの話はバトラ君には絶対に内緒にしてほしい。
You hated him?
約束できる？
もちろんです。
みすぼらしい僕の懺悔さ。でも聞いてほしい。今夜は僕の悪い部分も知ってくれた上で君に返事をもらいたいことがあるから。
I mean, he's admitting it, so, it's confronting it, so something.
はい。聞 かせてください。
With a smile but a serious look in her eyes, Shannon nodded. Tonight, she knew what he was going to ask her tonight. George had the right to confess before asking that sacred question, and Shannon had the obligation to listen. Shannon understood this, so she listened quietly.
感激の魔女ってずいぶん趣味の悪い魔女なのね。
恋を語る話は時を超えて尊い。いくら聞いても飽きぬでな。もっとも私にはエンジェの乙女らしい剣王の表情の方が愉快であるが。
Feathering laughed quietly. Angie huffed and looked away. But she quickly realized that this would only entertain Feathering even more, so she tried to act unconcerned.
バトラ君もジェシカちゃんも昔から快活だね。いや、そんな言い方は取り繕ってる。だからこう言うよ。
George looked up at where the moon should be, high above the rain clouds, and spoke. They were honest words, spoken simply from George's heart.
僕は昔からバトラ君もジェシカちゃんも礼儀に欠けた子だと思ってたよ。いや、もっとダイレクトに言おう。言葉遣いの下品な子たちだなとさえ思っていたよ。本当さ。軽蔑してくれていい？
しません。人は何を胸中に思おうと許されます。むしろ態度に出さなかったジョージさんは立派です。
ありがとう。僕はそんな彼らを内心見下していたよ。それに比べて僕はなんと立派で紳士的魅力にあふれているかと本気でうぬぼれていたさ。
So much better, yeah. I was at that age where having a girlfriend felt like a necessary condition for becoming a real man. I truly believe that no girl could fail to admire a gentleman who treated girls as well as I did. So, I really did assume that the girls I knew were attracted to me.
それに比べたらいつまでもはしゃいだりふざけたり下品で低俗な言葉遣いばかりしているバトラ君やジェシカちゃんなんか絶対に彼女や彼氏ができたりするもんかと思っていたよ。それがいつまでたっても彼女ができない自分への精神安定剤だったのかもしれない。とんでもね。彼らは僕に劣ってなんかいない。むしろ異性を勝手に神格化してレディーファーストと称して恐れて避ける僕の方がよっぽど劣っていた。
I mean, it's a very human emotion where you see somebody, who acts like a fool, a friend or a buddy or wherever, and you think, there's no way they would get a girlfriend or a boyfriend. No way. But when they do and you don't, you feel a tinge of envy, jealousy, Hell, if to the extreme, you may even hate them. Honestly, I felt those emotions as well, I'll be honest, yeah. Of seeing a friend getting a girlfriend or boyfriend, I felt a bit jealousy, yes. I can admit that, but it's just a very, human emotion of because the real question is, not how were they able to get it. The real question you're asking is, why haven't I gotten one yet? Why, haven't I done everything right? Haven't I aren't I, attractive, good looking? Have I just been lying to myself? How were they able to do it? And how wasn't I able to do it? It's a very, it's a human emotion. It very much is. Of, jealousy, of feeling, feeling so defeated, in a sense. If they were able to do it, why aren't I able to? Why can't I do it, you know? Is it a problem with me? So I get where he's coming from, you know? It's human.
バトラもジェシカも昔からああいう性分だった。確かにそやで紳士的、淑女的とは到底言えなかっただろう。しかし男女を分け隔てなく交流できる力があった。いや、魅力と言っていいかもしれない。
ちょっとわかるわ。お兄ちゃんやジェシカお姉ちゃんみたいなタイプの人って男女問わず誰とでも仲良くなれるタイプよね。ジョージお兄ちゃんには悪いけど、あまり紳士を振りかざしすぎる人ってちょっと気持ち悪いわ。女に幻想を持ちすぎっていうか、なんというか。
人は無縁であるなら相手が無害で退屈な人間であることを尊ぶ。しかしそれは邪魔にならないという意味で好まれているだけだ。
Yeah.
退屈な人間を身近にしたいと願う人間などいるわけもない。
当然よ。動かず物も言わぬ電信柱と友達になろうというバカはいないわ。でも動かず物を言わないのは電信柱としては優秀だわ。
そういうことだ。ジョージはつまりいくら自分が優秀であっても魅力ある人間として認められていない。ただの電信柱扱いであることにようやく気づいたというわけだ。
僕は当時うぬぼれの真っ盛りだった。だから親族会議でみんなで集まっている時、一番魅力的なのは僕で、それに混じって遊んでくれた使用人の女の子はみんな僕に惚れていると信じていたよ。それがあの日、僕はそこでようやく自分がどれほどみすぼらしかったかを思い知ったのさ。
私が当時何か心ないことを言ってしまったのでしょうか。
いいや、逆さ。君は何も言わなかった。君の瞳に映っているのは常に僕だといううぬぼれが打ち砕かれたのさ。
Just when did it start? No, it must have started long before then. I only failed to notice because my eyes were clouded with conceit.
ある日、唐突に気づいたんだ。君たちがバトラ君やジェシカちゃんと僕なんかよりはるかによく馴染んで楽しそうに遊んでいることだ。
Yes. Those two who I'd looked down upon so much were radiating far more charm than I was. You really looked like you were enjoying yourself that day. The look on your face was far brighter than any you had ever showed me.
気色悪い話さ。僕は君を勝手に僕に好意を持ってると決めつけた。ひょっとしたら異性の付き合いになってもいいかななんて青臭い白昼も許したことさえあるんだ。
Once you're in your own head.
それを勝手に恋人を奪われた気持ちになって勝手に傷ついてる。どこまでも僕はダメな男だったんだ。その時ようやく僕は自分の愚かさに気づけたんだ。
ジョージ様。
その後バトラ君はいろいろあって親族会議に来なくなったけど、ルドルフおじさんから彼の近況は聞いていたよ。おじさんも可愛い人だね。バトラ君とあんなにいつも喧嘩をしているのにバトラ君の近況を常に気にかけていた。
そうですね。私も聞かせてもらったことがあります。アスム様も呆れておられましたっけ。学校では 大層女性に人気でトラブルが絶えないのはきっとルドルフ様の血のせいに違いないと。
そしてジェシカちゃんも男女の友達を大勢作っていつもその中心で活躍していると聞いていたし、実際ジェシカちゃんと話してもそれは何の誇張でもないと理解できたよ。
It's very interesting that George has shared his feelings on it, but you know, Jessica also got those same feelings as well, you know, and how she wanted to connect with Ken because she was a bit jealous of George and Shannon getting together, you know, that she wanted a boyfriend herself as well. It's very, you know, it's just a very nice parallel between the characters. That, you know, this emotion of envy, of jealousy, or, you know, this emotion of kind of, I wouldn't say failure, but like self-doubt about yourself, about unable to get a, you know, partner, is not just, you know, it's not single, you know, gender. Both men, you know, women and men, you know, feel it. This proved that the two I looked down upon were much more attractive human beings than I was.
最初はね、バトラ君たちを真似ようと思ったんだ。滑稽な話さ。
Imitate.
ふざけたりはしゃいだり下品な会話を好めば彼らのような魅力が得られると思い込んだ。
No, you can't just, you know, repeat another person's joke, you know?
ジョージ様がですか？ちょっと想像できません。
痛々しかったよ。僕もあの頃のことは生涯思い出したくない。
And it's also interesting because Bador and Jessica kind of look up to George as this, you know, good adult, you know? Yet, you know, he wishes, you know, he wanted to be his own person, you know? He wanted to gain a personality, I guess, to have his own charm.
そしてそんなことを真似ても真の魅力は宿らないとすぐに気づいたよ。僕に魅力がないのは人を大事にすると称したり場の雰囲気に合わせて振る舞えると称したりしていつも一歩逃げている自分の臆病さにあったんだ。僕はそれを克服するために生まれ変わる決意をしたよ。初めて自分の殻というものを理解しそれを打ち破ろうと誓ったんだ。その意志がくじけそうになるためにあの日のことを思い出してバネにした。君たちが僕を忘れて楽しそうに遊んでいたあの日、そして僕に好意があると決めつけている君の瞳に僕が映っていなかったことをね。誓ったんだよ。今度こそ本当に君を振り向かせてその瞳に僕を映してやりたいとね。それが実は君に恋をした一番最初の感情。
複雑だったんですね。
あの日僕を無視して遊んでいた君たち、いや君への復讐がいつの間にか本当の恋心に変わっていったんだ。しかし神に誓う。それが君のことを真剣に考え出したきっかけだとしても僕が今君に持つ気持ちには何の偽りもない。僕は君を生涯愛することを誓う。それは誰にも何にも偽らない。そして君を妻として迎えるために僕には世界を敵に回すことだって厭わない覚悟がある。
ジョージさん。
以上が君に先にしておきたい残念さ。僕は今日まで君のことを初恋で一目惚れだったと言ってきた。 それは嘘なんだ。うぬぼれた僕の歪んだ。
関係ないです、そんなの。
Shannon smiled, but she spoke forcefully enough to cut through George's words.
初恋じゃなかったら結ばれちゃいけないんですか？初恋の人を忘れたらそれは裏切りなんですか？恋ってそんな単純じゃない。いえ、単純かもしれない。だって恋なんて簡単。常に今の自分の正直な気持ちだけが正解なのだから。だから昔の話も馴れ初めも何も関係ないんです。
懺悔沈んだったかな。
いいえ、何事も完璧なジョージさんにも人間臭い一面があることが分かってちょっと嬉しかったです。そしてそれを私だけに打ち明けてくれることに。
ありがとう。僕は君がいたから僕になれた。
私もジョージさんがいるから私でいるのです。だから包み隠さず教えてください。私たちはどんな夫婦になってどんな未来を築くのですか？
僕は君という妻を得て父さんを超える実業家になる。そしてさまざまな挑戦や冒険を経て自分の可能性の限界を確かめたい。その到達点の頂に君と一緒に至りたいんだ。そこからの眺めは僕以外の誰にも見せられないもの。
楽しそうです。どこまでもお供します。
もちろん実業家としての冒険だけじゃない。夫婦でしか気づけないものもたくさん積み上げていきたい。
Only a couple can make, huh?
それはどんなものですか？
子供を作ろう。
はい、旦那様。
最低3人は作りたい。男の子も女の子も両方欲しい。
もし3人とも男の子だったら？
次こそ女の子かもね。4人目を作ろう。何人いてもいい。子育てという冒険も2人で楽しもう。そしてやがては巣立った子供たちが孫を連れて帰ってくる。気づけば僕たちは大勢の子供と孫に囲まれた賑やかな老後を迎えてるだろうね。
楽しそうです。ジョージさん、どんなおじいちゃんになってるんでしょうね。
君こそどんなおばあちゃんになってるんだろうね。でも僕は君を変わらず愛し続けるよ。そして大勢の家族に見守られながら王女をできたら僕たちの人生は誰にも負けないものとして描き切られる。
George didn't just talk about his love of the present. He swore to love her soul until the final moment, when the lid of their coffins would be shut. Till death do us part, indeed. Then George took a small box out of his pocket. Even without opening it, she knew what was inside. He took it out with a motion that was even more natural than the one he practiced in the airport bathroom. It was overflowing with masculine charm.
さよ。
Oh.
結婚しよう。
はい。
この指輪をどうかその指に通してほしい。
はい、ジョージさん。
That ring, which glistened divinely even in the dim light of the arbor, passed from George's hand to Shannon's finger. Of course, Shannon had already decided which finger to put it on.
僕と君の未来を阻もうとする全ての運命に僕は毅然と立ち向かうことを誓う。
George proclaimed that he would reveal their engagement to the entire family on the next day. Well,
僕たちの結婚に両親はとやかく言うかもしれない。でも僕はそれを許さない。僕が親にするのは婚約の報告であって認めてもらいたいわけじゃない。もし母さんが君との結婚を許さないと言い出すなら僕は自ら勘当を申し出て君と家を出るつもりだよ。僕にはその覚悟がとっくにあるんだ。僕たちの未来を阻む全ての運命に僕は毅然と立ち向かうことを。
George had said it out loud. So Shannon said the same thing.
私も私とジョージさんの未来を阻もうとする運命に毅然と立ち向かうことを誓います。
Whoa. Great. What the fuck you want?
バトラさん、いつ事件が始まるんです？
Oh, fuck off.
もう恋愛ごっこお腹いっぱいなんですけど。
Shut up. Get the fuck out of here.
黙って見てよ。
はいはい。私があくびでもした隙に何かとんでもない伏線を通過されたらたまりませんから。
Yeah, that's what you're looking for. You're not reading the text itself, just looking for foreshadowing for the crimes, huh? You fucking bitch.
お前には愛はないのか。
愛が証拠として受理されるミステリーってあるんですか？ありませんから。
Erika laughed coldly and stared down at the two on the game board. Bedouin watched her quietly. Erika thought she felt a touch of pity in his gaze, and she averted her eyes uncomfortably.
一応理解はしてますとも。愛が殺人の動機程度にはなりうることくらい。
There is something between understanding something and feeling something, Erika.
一応この東屋での出来事は2人の婚約に障害が生じた場合犯行の動機となりうる程度には解釈しとこうと思います。まあ赤くない言葉でいくら愛をささやこうとも全ては幻ですが。
かわいそうにな。
Yeah.
お前は魔女に証拠が与えられなかったから人も愛せないんだ。
Can't love anybody, huh?
くだらない恋愛トークはやめてください。私はあんたの敵であって恋の話に付き合う酔狂な友人ではありませんから。
Can't even have a good discussion, huh?
私には今のあんたがさっぱりわかりません。一体あんたは何を悟ったってんです？あんたとベアとは罵り合い殺し合う関係だったはず。
Well, it grew a little bit deeper than that. It's much more complicated than mere red text, Erika.
そのあんたが何の真相に至ってベアトに対する感情を変えたんですか？
But she does have a point. What truth is it?
まさか殺し合うライバル関係から恋愛感情が芽生えたとかバカなこと言い出さないですよね。
エリカ卿、ゲームの進行を続けさせましょう。退屈な恋愛シーンなどとっとと終わらせるに限ります。
本当そうですね。
I don't know. It's very similar to I remember a couple comments from like the beginning of episode 2 that dealt with Shannon, George's relationship and how people said the beginning of episode 2 it was paced quite weird way, but I think it was just because It's like the same complaint of Higurashi of like there's too many slice of life scenes, you know? These scenes are here, they have a purpose to them. Sure, they may not have foreshadowing of the crimes, but it makes us understand the characters deeper. And that's the point of a story, to me at least, is the characters. You know, how they evolve, how they deepen each, you know, the relationships between each other.
口を挟んで失礼。ささ、どうぞ続きを。
シャノンです。戻りました。
うん。今日の日誌はまだだな。
はい、すぐに提出します。カノン君、留守番をありがとう。
長い休み時間だったね。
Gannon already noticed. There's a silvery glint coming from the ring finger in Shannon's left hand.
では、私は先に休む。何かあったら構わず起こすよ。
おやすみなさいませ、源氏様。
Genji disappeared off to the reading room. With that, only Shannon Kid remained.
時間をくれてありがとう。あとは私が控えてるから、カノン君ももう休んでもいいよ。
今度は僕の出番ってことだね。
うん。悪いけど、私たちは負けないよ。
僕だって負けるものか。
今日まで臆病でお嬢様にリードしてもらわなければ何もできなかった君が。
姉さんが教えてくれたはずだよ。
何を教えたかな。
恋に昔も過去も関係ない。
I wonder the reason why Shannon did, like, if she wins, I guess, in order just to motivate Cannon to do it. Because obviously Cannon, you know, loves, you know, Shannon, obviously, as, you know, a sister. So maybe the reason why she came up with, like, if I win, I'll leave and I'll forget all about you, just to motivate Cannon to finally, to do it, to give him that one last push to go for Jessica. Maybe as simple as that.
今だけが重要なんだって。もしそれが本当なら、僕の今は姉さんの今に何も負けてるなんて思わない。
Jen and Ken glared at each other with serious eyes. That period of tension vanished when Shannon chuckled.
うん、それでいいよ。君とお嬢様も頑張って。もしも結ばれるなら、私たちが心の底から祝福できるくらいに素敵な関係になって。
姉さんにかなりのリードを許してるけどね。
仕方ないよ。それが君のこれまでの臆病の対価なんだから。
分かってる。それが僕の罪だから。
Shannon and Ken fished around in their pockets and drew out two small things that glittered gold. Whoa. They looked like the left and right wings of a gold butterfly.
私たちは家具。
Whoa.
人間になって愛を育む奇跡を得るには、もう一度魔法の奇跡を頼らなくてはならない。
あいつのブローチが役に立つなんて。
Yeah, the brooch.
私たちの手元にある。
It was the golden butterfly brooch, which Beatos had once given to Shannon in the hopes of creating love between her and George. Shannon then gave it to Cannon, but he let his emotions get a hold of him and crushed it into pieces. So when the two rings they held were brought together, it would regain the form of the beautiful butterfly.
じゃあ行ってくる。僕もトランプに一応呼ばれてたからね。
頑張ってね。お嬢様、きっと喜ぶと思う。
少し照れるな。
楽しんで、その感情を。
Kenan left the servant room. He went to go see Jessica and tell her what he had determined to do. Shannon quietly watched him go. The fragment of the brooch in the engagement ring read out of a gold and silver glint.
懐かしいぞ。あれは確かにわらわがシャノンに与えたもの。
Yeah.
カノンが踏みつぶして以来、どこへ紛失したかと思っていたら、まだ持っていたのか。
黄金蝶のブローチですね。恋愛を助ける魔法のブローチとフェザリーヌさんの本で読みました。
That had been the first time that Beatrice, Witch of the Forest, had interacted with a human and given them her power. Bit by bit, she had transformed from a mere ghost to the ruler of the mansion at night. And by making the servants believe in her, she had wiped away the anti-magic power. And then it eventually became possible for her to appear openly in front of Shannon, whose magic resistance had grown particularly low and had begun to believe in the existence of Beatrice, so she can fall in love with George. To Beatos, who had been unable to interact with anyone for many years, this conversation with Shannon must have been especially fun.
だから気前よく黄金蝶のブローチを与えてやったのだ。わらわは相当上機嫌であったのだな。わらわのごとき冷酷な魔女がそこまでサービスをするとは。
でも素敵です。あなたは未来の恋人たちの仲を取り持たれたのですから。
もちろん甘やかしたつもりはないぞ。わらわの魔力を抑えつけてきたあの肉々しい霊境を割ることと引き換えだ。そのおかげでわらわは一気に力を取り戻すことができたのだから。
しかしある夜、紫の雷が真珠の社を打ち砕いた。
Purple lightning, eh? Man, lightning has a lot of shit to do in the When They Cry universe, huh?
島々の者たちは協調だとささやき合います。今思えばあれこそがベアトリーチェ様復活の印だったに違いあります。
Kumasawa had the rest of the night off, so she had let Erika talk her into drinking a bit, and was chatting about the legend of Akuji Shima, Achuku Kishima, and Beatrice in a happy, tipsy mood. Erika would nod from time to time, but besides this, she listened in complete silence. She wasn't actually taking notes, but she was gathering information on the whiteboard inside her head. Then she frowned as though noticing something out of place and held up her hand.
ちょっとストップを。
はい。
その鎮守の社は悪事木島の悪霊を封じるために旅の修験者が建立した。
Yeah, Beatrice did mention at the beginning of episode 2 that there were multiple spirits, and yeah, it was built by a monk.
そうでしたね。
そうでございます。強い神通力をお持ちだったということで、その力を鏡に込め、
霊境として社に奉納し、悪霊を封印した。少し違和感を覚えます。悪事木島の悪霊を封印する社がどうしてベアトリーチェも封印するんです？
それはその霊境の神通力が
Because she's an evil spirit.
なるほど。東洋の悪霊も西洋の魔 魔女も OK の便利な霊境だったからというわけですか。わかりました。すっきりはしませんが、そこは折れることにしましょう。しかしどうしてベアトリーチェが雲の巣も嫌うのかわかりません。
Yeah, that's an interesting detail. According to the legend, the evil spirits of Akuju Kishima despised spider webs, so they were apparently used as wards against evil in the surrounding islands. In fact, spiders are a useful bug. There's nothing strange about the fact that island farmers had treasured them. It's very possible that they were then tied to the story of evil spirits and became known as charms against evil, leading to a tradition of people treating this useful bug with care through the generations.
しかしそれ、悪事島伝説の話です。そもそもベアトリーチェの魔女伝説の発祥は、この島に引っ越してきた後宮金蔵がミステリアスな黄金伝説とそれを授けた魔女という名の愛人を吹聴してから始まったものです。
Well, perhaps some people just mixed and matched and confused the two and kind of made a fusion of them.
つまり悪事島の悪霊と黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェは本来全く異なる存在のはずなんです。なのに設定が同じになっています。
さてはて。
The evil spirits of Akuji Kishima couldn't stand spider webs, so neither could Beatrice. That sort of reasoning has been applied all over the place. When it was pointed out that this was strange, Kumasawa was lost for an answer.
金蔵さんの書斎のドアノブはサソリの魔法陣が描かれていて、それは西洋魔術では魔除けを意味する。
Yeah, that's right. She kind of has, like... There's always been scorpions, when, Maria gave the scorpion it was Jessica who gave the scorpion charm to Natsui, who she put on the door and, protected her. So, I always assumed it was always, the scorpion that protected against Beatrice. And really, there was no spiders that were used.
だから西洋魔女のベアトリーチェはドアノブに触れられない。これは理解できるんです。でも雲の巣に限ってはベアトリーチェが嫌う理由がありません。私の知る限りでも西洋魔女の苦手なものに雲の巣があったという記憶はありません。むしろ雲は魔女の仲間や眷属では
は
あ思うに悪事島伝説の悪霊と魔女伝説のベアトリーチェ、この2つの異なる伝説が少し混交しているように思います。
Yeah, that's what typically happens with ghost stories and myths. They kind of mixed and match.
混交どころか融合かもしれません。悪事島伝説は六軒島周辺の暗礁を恐れた漁民たちが生み出したおとぎ話。しかし悪事島に住まう悪霊なる者には具体的なビジュアルイメージが伴っていませんでした。人なのか怪物なのか、はたまた足のない幽霊なのかさっぱりイメージがありません。人はビジュアルを伴わない空想を苦手とします。そこにベアトリーチェという魔女の伝説が登場した。悪霊よりは魔女の方が想像しやすい存在です。しかもその上、金蔵さんはベアトリーチェの肖像画を描かせ掲示しました。つまり悪事島伝説の一番の弱点、たたる悪霊のビジュアルイメージが初めて保管されたわけです。そこからいつの間にか2つの伝説が混じり合っていってしまったのではないでしょうか。
どうでございましょうね。この老いぼれには少し難しい話にございます。
Also, I'm pretty sure I heard a bit more than Drake.
Kumasawa laughed to smooth it over, wiping away a cold shrug. She might have seemed confused, but she actually did understand what Erika was saying. In truth, she had been vaguely aware of how the legend of Akuja Kashima, which had been around before Mira Kinzo had come to Wokonjima, and the legend of the Golden Witch, the story of the woman that had given Kinzo a vast quantity of gold, had both transformed. She didn't want to acknowledge it, but she knew. The setting where Beatrice hated the spirit mirror and spiderwebs. This had been based on the ancient legend of Akuja Kashima. The evil spirits part of that legend had just been replaced by the witch of the portrait.
もし黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェを自称する人物がいたとして、彼女が本当に蜘蛛の巣を嫌うのかどうか、ぜひ聞いてみたいものです。触れるとどうなるんでしたっけ？
魔女の眷属は雲の巣に触れるとやけどを負うそうですから、多分そうなるんじゃないかと。
いいじゃないですか、それ。見事な魔女裁判です。雲の巣に触れてやけどするならば、それは悪霊の方であって魔女ではない。そして触れても何も起こらないのであれば、ただの人間であることの証。つまりやけどしようがしなかろうが、黄金の魔女など存在しないという証になります。
But what if she's fused, huh? What if the legends collide and she's half burned?
魔女伝説なんて所詮、悪事島伝説が装いを変えただけの焼き直しに過ぎないのです。
You know, I do get where she's coming from.
はあ。
ただ伝説がそこにあるだけで、フルドエリカはこの程度の推理が可能です。
How about this level of my boot going up your ass is possible by me? Voidlego? Fuck you.
いかがです？皆様方。
There's no audience here. I mean, there is an audience, but fuck you. Though only the two of them were in the lounge. Erika faced in the direction an invisible audience would have been. And shrugged. And just as Erika imagined, the targets of her comments actually were there, listening in.
雲の巣ですか？触れるとやけどを？
When Beato the Elder snapped her fingers, the graceful silver spider swept down from the ceiling, hanging by a transparent thread. Afterwards, only a single silver strand remained. Timidly, Beato stretched her finger out towards the spider's string. Then she touched it. Nothing.
平気です。
平気なのか？
Beato the Elder lifted up a white pale finger, and after showing it to her little sister, she traced the silver string with it. There was a stench like a single hair being burnt. Once again, she held her finger up in front of Beato, who was stunned. There was a thin burnt line, as though someone had traced across it with a razor.
これはどういうことですか？
わらわが聞きたい。どうしてそなたは平気なのか？
わかりません。
Because she hasn't been fused with you, Elder Beatrice. She hasn't become the Golden Witch.
むしろ逆に、どうしてお姉様が蜘蛛の巣に触れるとやけどをするのかわかりません。
わからぬ。わらわが自らの存在を意識した時からそういうことになっていた。
ではお姉様は？
Beato hesitated. However, her question was clear.
違う。わらわは悪事島の悪霊などではない。わらわは六軒島の夜を支配する魔女ベアトリーチェである。どうしてこの島の太古の悪霊と同じ弱点を持つのかはわらわにもわからぬ。
苦手なのは蜘蛛の巣だけですか？
エリカとやらが言うように 金蔵の書斎のドアノブもダメだ。
Oh, that winds up.
あのサソリの魔法陣はわらわを焼く。わらわにとって金蔵の書斎の扉を開けようとするのは真っ赤に焼けた蹄鉄を家中に拾うも同じこと。そなたはどうか。
サソリの魔法陣ですか？
The older sister snapped her fingers again. When she did, the surrounding scene had bent and twisted, and they had suddenly moved to the place in front of Kinzo's study. And there was a doorknob engraved with the scorpion magic circle.
魔術を研究するものならば、人的にも霊的にも隔絶された隠れ家が必須となる。金蔵が自らの書斎を閉ざし、このような魔除けを施したとしても不思議はない。そしてそれは困ったことに、わらわにもこうして効果がある。
She gently grasped the doorknob. She did a violent burning sound, unbelievably stronger than the one caused by a spiderweb weighing out.
お姉様、大丈夫ですか？
So it seems like she's more affected by the scorpion doorknob than the spiderweb. Well, it could be just, a doorknob is way bigger than a single strand of spider's web. But I take this to meaning that she is originally, like, her base, let's say, like, her base is Beatrice, but with some elements of the evil spirits from Akujima added to her. So, while touching spiderwebs does hurt her, it doesn't hurt as much as touching the scorpion charms. Her hand had been horribly burnt, and Vito couldn't help but avert her eyes.
安心せよ。これ式すぐ治る。
Apparently, it would heal by itself if left alone. The older sister seemed to heal at an inhuman rate.
だがそなたはどうやら平気らしいな。
Huh. Wow. She timidly poked the doorknob. Nothing happened. Slowly, she touched it with her entire palm, but she felt nothing but a pleasantly cool sensation.
不思議だ。
Interesting.
そなたはわらわの分身であるにもかかわらず、わらわとは様々なものが異なっている。
She's the base culprit. She is still human. She hasn't gained the attributes of the myth Beatrice, along with the mixing in of the Akujima evil spirits as well. She is the base culprit, just in the form of Beatrice. She is still human.
逆にドアノブに触れても平気ですが、お姉様のような火傷を負ったら私は簡単には治らないと思います。
まるで普通の人間のようであるな。
はい、私自身自分が魔女だとはちょっと信じきれていません。私にはお姉様のように魔法を使うこともできないし、不思議な火傷も、そしてすぐに傷を治すこともできません。お父様は私を偉大なる魔女の生まれ変わりだと信じてくださいましたが、私にはそれが信じられなくて。
I mean, you are reborn, just at the very start.
そなたは何者なのか。
私はベアトリーチェ。
Honestly, the chick Beatrice does seem like Maria. You know, she wants to learn from Beatrice. She wants to be a witch. I mean, for God's sake, Maria's title of a witch is Witch of Origins. And this right here, this chick Beatrice, is the origin of Beatrice, who's more than likely Maria, who's learning about the story of, the myth of Beatrice, aka in the form of Beatrice the Elder here.
お父様のために生まれてきました。お姉様は？
わらわもまたベアトリーチェ。 金蔵に魔法にて黄金を授け、その後も魂となって島に縛り付けられている体を失った魔女である。
私たちは一体何者なんでしょう。
わらわと違い、そなたは体を持つ存在のように見える。
え、そうなんですか？
あのエリカとやらの話を聞いて、わらわはふと思った。魔女であり魔法が使えるが体を持たぬわらわと、そして魔女であるが魔法は使えず肉の体を持つそなた。わらわたちはやがて一つになり、掛け合った部分を埋め合って本当のベアトリーチェとして完成されるのではないだろうか。
The two that become one. It seemed to make sense. Both of the Beatrices were missing something. If they became one, then they would surely be very close to the Beatrice that Bedouin desired.
試してみるか。
Oh. Now, how exactly do we do that?
手を出せ。
Oh, the older sister slowly raised her palm and held it out before Beato. The large burn from a second ago really had started to heal already.
わらわたちは一つになれるかもしれぬ。わらわも知りたい。そなたと一つになることで未来のわらわを知りたい。
And thus, we'll finally have the Beatrice that can switch from one outfit to the other. Beato also raised her hand slowly, and the two hands touched. But nothing happened. Perhaps this meant that while they were fated to become one eventually, that time had not yet come.
わらわにとって雲の巣が苦手なのは当たり前なこと。しかしそなたはそれを知りもしなかった。同様にそなたは自分が生まれてきた理由をお父様のためだという。そのお父様というのはどうやら後ろ宮バトラのことらしい。わらわも年に数度しか訪れぬ稀な客人である彼のことは知っているが、その稀な客人の彼とそなたというわらわにどのような接点があるのか理解できぬ。わらわたちは互いをもっと知るべきに違いない。
そうですね。私たちは互いを知り合うことで本当に大切なことに至れる気がします。
その向こうにいるのが一なる未来のベアトリーチェ。いや、それこそがわらわたちのあるべき正しい姿に違いない。
With their hands still joined, the two Beatrices swore to fill in the parts the other lacked, regain their single form. Bit by bit, Beato was walking down the path that led to the former Beatrice. How interesting. So interesting. Two becoming one. You know, we've seen a lot of that, actually. Of, like, in this specific episode, of, like, two opposing forces trying to become one. And, oh god, this scene again. Guess we're going to start that with next episode. But, a lot of forces at play trying to, like, two becoming one. We, you know, saw it with Shannon and Cannon, you know, two opposites, you know, but yet the one thing they have in common is love. Then we had, you know, George and Shannon with George, you know, desperately wanting a girlfriend so they could be wife and husband once more to becoming one. The two extremes of Erika versus Maria, one believing in witches, the other not believing in them at all, as those two fought it out in one battle. It's a lot of, you know, imagery of two becoming one. Probably because I finished Legacy of Kate Defiance, but but it's still in the story. I'm not completely insane. Right, guys? Right? But anyway, if you guys enjoy this type of content, hit that subscribe button. If you liked it, hit the like button. Want to tell me something? Put that in the comments below. Check out Discord server I own in. I like my Twitter. Check description below. And yeah, it's been Voidlego. I'll see you guys next time. See ya!